Hey everybody, I'm Hamsack, and today I have a tips and tricks video for you guys. This is for Resident Evil 4, the original, not the remake. The remake is coming out pretty soon, and this is kind of in honor of that. So anybody who's struggling with beating it, all this footage is on Pro, so it should work on any difficulty if you're still struggling and want to get through it and see the cool comparison between this one and the next one. This video is going to show things like little tips and tricks to find all the treasures, get more bang for your buck, and also just conserve ammo, stuff like that. And so I'm not sure if these will be all in the remake. They probably won't be, but it'd be kind of interesting to see what it's like. I'll be trying them out when the remake comes out, seeing if we can find the same little tricks. This first trick isn't a big deal, but I usually like to do it just because it helps me get a little bit more money for later. So if you just head to the right immediately, you can shoot the birds from behind and you'll be able to hit all of them without them flying away. You just have to make sure you hit the back one first and then hit the rest of them. This next trick is just kind of a combat trick to teach you how to bait your enemies into swinging at you, so that way you can knife them when their guard is down and kill them without using any ammo. So the way it works is you'll move forward just slightly and tap the sprint button and then immediately start backing up. This will make it so sprinting forward they'll swing at you, but then you'll back up, which makes them miss. So they think that you're running towards them when you're just backing up. And then you can easily walk up to them and knife them in the face to stun them until you can just knife them and kill them without using any ammo. It might take some practice, but this is the biggest ammo saver. If you're able to master this, you'll be able to save so much ammo you won't know what to do with it all. It also works on pitchfork guys. You just have to be more careful and back up further. Otherwise, they can hit you because they have more of a reach. And it does work on groups too. It's just a little bit more difficult, so you have to kind of practice a little bit with that. The next trick is pretty simple. If you just immediately after saving the dog, you want to make sure you save the dog, it helps for later. But immediately after saving the dog, you head off to the right. Up next to this fence, there's this little red herb on the ground. It's nothing too important, but it's always nice to have more red herbs so that way you can get the full health back when you combine your herbs. Then just a tiny little goofy thing. After walking down, normally you have all these trees with tripwires, but if you just hug the wall on the right, you'll be fine. There's nothing there. You don't have to shoot anything, use up any ammo or anything like that. You can just hug the wall and you'll be fine. Another little thing here is that there's a little guy in the shack here on the left as you're approaching this gate. So if you keep walking past the shack and then turn around, he'll come out and you'll be able to kill him when he's out of the shack. Otherwise, if you try to walk into the shack, he'll swing almost immediately and hurt you. So it helps to just kind of walk a little further past the shack and wait for him to come out. Now for the village, this part is actually usually one of the toughest parts in the game, just because it's so close to the beginning that it takes a lot to get used to, and it shows you all the different things. But if you want to make it easy on yourself, instead of going to the back left where normally the cutscene will play and everything, instead you go to the right where there's this little house, and you go in there, turn around, shoot a little hole in the door, about waist level, and then you just knife through it. None of the enemies will be able to knock the door down in time if you're continuously knifing them. So they'll just stand there getting knifed, and you can even pick up ammo through the door. So this clip here is just showing off the different locations of all of the items you can collect in this little village here. So just follow this pathing and you can find everything, or just keep your eyes open and you might find everything on your own. Otherwise, from here on out, I'm not really going to be showing a lot of stuff like this. I'll be more showing just the more expensive treasures and stuff to find. Another important tip is that you'll want to make sure your case is organized, because if it's not, it's going to be really hard to figure out how much space you have left. So as long as your case is organized, you'll be able to easily replace things, sell things, do all that without being too confused. So in this next area with all the barns and farmhouse, this area has a lot of different items, including the different medallions. The medallions are all over the place, and you're going to find 7 of them in this area. There's going to be 8 more in the church area for a total of 15, and if you get all 15 of them, you get a gun with an upgrade. If you only get 10 of them, you get just the gun. So follow this little path here I've shown, just in this tree, the barn, and then if you go behind the barn, there's a little medallion. Make sure you collect all the eggs you can find, because you'll want those for later. They give you health, so that's always really nice. And a little trick is, if you're low on health, you'll actually find more healing items. There's also this little necklace you can find. You want to make sure you shoot the little piece of wood before you shoot the necklace, otherwise you could lose the necklace and it's not worth as much. The next blue medallion you'll find is behind the farmhouse, or this little barn area. You just look up at the peak here and you'll find it just hanging. Next, you climb up top and you walk across the little scaffolding to shoot the little medallion in the windmill. Then you jump down and shoot the one that's above the door. And then you can look around, gather some stuff there, climb back up, and you'll see the one in the window of a little farmhouse. And then from there, you'll jump down. Make sure you're far enough over where you can land in this fenced-in area, so you can hit this little box to get the beer stein. There's a couple of these throughout the game, and this is the first one you run into. Just press the button it prompts you to press as fast as you can, and then press the buttons to avoid it. It's just a little quick action, and there's not much to it. You just have to be fast. There are actually 2 guys on a bridge while you're running down that you can turn around and shoot. Sometimes they'll fall down and you can pick up a reward, but most of the time they just die up there and you can't really get anything from them. So I usually tend to not touch them because they're kind of a waste of time. After that rock, you'll find a lot of little shiny things in this tunnel. There's actually a lot of shiny things in the rest of the game, so keep an eye out for them, and when you shoot them, they'll fall down and you'll be able to pick up a little prize. Next, we'll find dynamite guys. This is the first time you see them, and there's actually 2 tricks for defeating them. For one, you just shoot the little dynamite in their hand and they explode. For the second, you can actually, as they're throwing it, you can run towards them and they'll throw it short and blow themselves up. You just want to make sure that when it blows up, you're past them, because otherwise you'll blow up too. After finishing off all the enemies in this area, you can shoot this little bird nest to get your first insertable gem towards your beer stein. Each gem that you insert into the beer stein makes it more expensive. There's 3 total. This is the first one. Then you go into the house and you have this super cool transition that takes you to the next area. This is where you'll first meet the merchant. At the merchant here, I usually tend to sell my handgun here. I know it sounds crazy, but trust me, the TMP is a lot easier at conserving ammo because you usually get so much of it that it doesn't really matter where you spend it. I also buy the rifle here, so getting rid of the handgun clears up more space so that way you can get ammo for both. Immediately after kicking down the door, you'll find a guy pointing at you. Anybody who's pointing at you, usually you can run up to them faster than they'll try to hit you. So if you run up to them, they'll still probably be pointing at you where you can knife them in the face and then kill them. This area actually used to be pretty difficult for me, but a trick I've found was while they're sprinting at you, if you shoot them in the leg, they fall down. So this way, you can group up a lot of them at a time right at this front area and just shotgun them or throw grenades at them to kill bigger groups. Another thing for this area is if you're standing on this first spot, all the dynamite guys kill themselves. So you can use this to damage the enemies that are coming towards you in groups as well. Next, you just rifle all of the guys that are at a distance, and then you go into this first building and collect everything. After that, you go to the roof and get the first half of the door key type insignia thing. After that, you'll want to head to the next building that's close to the door, the exit door. You'll climb up to the roof there, and you'll climb up to the higher little scaffolding thing up there, because there will be 2 waves of a bunch of enemies, and if you're up there, you can just wait for them to come to you and then knife them all until they're all dead. And then you can jump back down, collect everything, wait for the next group, and then as soon as you see them coming, climb back up, wait for them to climb the ladder, and knife all of them down. Then you'll make your way across to the other side again, go up the ramp, kill the last guy if you haven't, and collect the other half of the insignia to make your way through the door. A little bit into this building, you'll happen upon 2 windows. What I recommend is to break the left window and just hop through, turn to your left, shoot the dynamite, and it will kill those guys. Because if you jump through the window, you won't have time to stand up and shoot the dynamite out of their hands because you'll be stuck in an animation. After killing everybody in this room and exploring around, finding the little things in the furnaces, you'll walk out the door and turn immediately to your left, where you'll find the next big ticket item, which is the mask. This mask also can hold 3 different gems, and I will show you where those are as well. After the mask, you will walk down this little pathway, and this guy will yell at you, where you can run up to him, knife him, and kill him because he's pointing at you forever. Next, you'll be able to jump down into the pile of fish, kill some fish, and use those to get some health back. The best way to kill the fish is to kind of corral them into a corner and knife them. Then you make your way up, you'll find some crows, you can shoot those. Watch out for the tripwire and the bear traps on the ground. Turn to your left and you'll see a little well. You can also shoot this little piece of wood and collect this necklace because it's pretty expensive. And then you'll have to fight a chainsaw guy. This chainsaw guy can be fought in 2 different ways that are pretty easy. One of them's easier than the other, but the other saves lots more ammo. The first way I would recommend is pull out your rifle and walk back into the room that you found the key in. Once you walk into that room, the window will be open, and you can actually shoot through this window to kill the chainsaw guy. Or you can make your way downstairs, collect everything, and walk straight up to him. You want to make sure you kill all of his friends first, but after that, you can try to knife him to death. I know it sounds crazy, because it is. It's pretty crazy, but it's a pretty similar tactic to fighting the other enemies. You just want to make sure you hit him in the face with your knife or you'll die. This way, you can save a lot of ammo, but it takes a little bit of practice. So if you're really wanting to save ammo for later, you can try to fight the boss like this, and you just might die a few times trying to practice. Next, there's 2 nests down this way. The first one is the one that really matters, and then you'll make your way to the village again. Immediately after entering the village, enemies will start coming towards you, but if you wait right as you exit the door, just don't move, stand still. In this clip, I messed up and died, or almost died. So if you want to make your life easier on yourself, immediately after walking out of the door, stand still, pull out your rifle, and you can just headshot everybody. It's super easy because they all line up. Most of them line up perfectly. After that, you make your way into the little church, and you'll find a hanging lantern. If you shoot this lantern, it'll drop a little prize for you, so you can pick that up and make your way into the cave. Inside the cave, you'll shoot another lantern, and there will be a bunch of shinies all over the place to shoot. After you make your way up, you just walk forward just a little bit, turn around, look up, and there'll be a nest with a grenade in it, so that'll be helpful for later. After that, you can walk forward and kill a few birds, shoot them in this order, or I think they have a chance of flying away, and then you could just collect the stuff, turn around, and there'll be another nest that you can shoot to collect some ammo. Next, I'll show you the pathing that I usually take, so that way I can get all of the rest of the medallions and a couple other treasures. First, there's one in this tree, there's one in a tree just across the fence, and then one further down inside that same graveyard. After making it up the hill, there's a little nest in a tree where you can get another grenade. You immediately turn left, go around the left side of the church building, and you will see another medallion. Next, you'll head around back, there will be 2 enemies to kill, and you will find your next medallion just up along the roof line. And you'll also find a little puzzle to complete where you'll find the second cat's eye for the beer stein. After that, you'll make your way down the wooden bridge and jump over the gap to shoot the next medallion, which is above your head. Then you turn and face the gap where you will find another medallion. Further down the pathway, you'll see another one hanging, and that will be your last medallion. The next room is where you will eventually fight a giant, but first you'll be able to kill a ton of birds as long as you've saved a flashbang for this area. You just throw the flashbang, it kills all of them, and you will get a flashbang back. Collect everything in there because it will respawn later. Then you make your way to the next area where you'll have to avoid another boulder. After avoiding the boulder, you can turn immediately around, face upward, and there'll be another shiny thing to shoot at. I used to think this area was tricky as well, but it's really not too bad because you can lure enemies into trip mines.
Yeah, you already knew I was here. I shot you.
Make your way back up onto the platform and turn around because there'll be a couple of waves of enemies coming after you. Also in this swampy area, you'll find a gnarled tree someplace on a little bank, and you can look up and shoot the nest in this tree to find another really expensive item to sell. This area also has a bunch of eggs and snakes and everything, so keep an eye out for those so you can heal yourself later. After making it through to the next area, you can make your way up this little ramp here, and on the far left you will notice there's a little red herb waiting for you. The next part is the salamander. And normally you'll want to avoid the salamander as much as you can so you don't get hurt. So you can hug the right or the left to try to avoid the trees, but then usually when you get to a far end of the lake, he'll turn around and try to eat you. The way you can avoid this easily is you follow him. So he will dive in a certain direction and pop up on the opposite direction. So if you follow the direction he dives, you'll be able to avoid his attack. After the salamander spot, don't forget to jump back onto the boat and ride back into the water, because across the way there is a couple blue lights to show you that there's a merchant over here. After making it to the merchant, if you head to the left, you'll be able to push some boxes out of the way and make your way up to the rooftop. On the rooftop, you'll break a couple more barrels and find the first gem for the mask. Then you could jump down into the same room with the merchant and collect a full stack of ammunition for your rifle. Now, before you continue on, it has become nighttime, so everything that you've broken open has respawned. So you can actually go back, try to kill a couple of dogs, but you can also kill all the other guys and collect tons more stuff if you really wanted to. But it's kind of out of the way, so I don't really do it very often. After killing a couple of guys, you'll jump across this waterway, and if you walk far enough down and turn to the right, you'll find a barrel to break open. Then you go back to the left, and you can shoot the guy before you jump down. It's sort of helpful. And then after you make your way down, look up, and behind you, you'll see another shiny. Then, after knocking all the boxes down, you can head towards the waterfall where you'll find another shiny. That's actually a more expensive item. After diverting the water away from the opening, you'll be able to jump across to the middle and then jump back, because a bunch of guys will start coming towards you, and you can actually shotgun most of them into the water if you've been hanging on to your ammo. Next, you'll make your way through the cave, take a little boat ride back to the little area with the giant. After making it to the giant, this is where it gets a little funky, because hopefully you've been hanging on to grenades. Grenades are going to be amazing for these giants. Only like 2 of them will take down a giant, and you'll be able to knife him, shoot him, pretty much end it right there. But a way to do bonus damage to him is when he falls down, after knocking him down with enough damage, the little parasite will grow out of his back, and you can actually shoot the parasite to do bonus damage. Just don't shoot it too much, because then you won't be able to knife it, which does the most damage. So shoot it a little bit, then jump on his back and knife it. After the giant fight, you'll make your way back across the wood bridge to the church again. Here you'll find the first dogs in the game, unless you backtracked and found the other ones. But these ones you can actually shoot ahead of time with your rifle. It definitely helps if you get this first one out of the way, because you can shoot this one at range and the other 2 won't follow. Then you can run up and shotgun the other 2 once the first one is dead. This is another little trick that helps for later, but once you enter the church, you'll collect everything, go upstairs, and you'll have to jump across the chandelier. If you just tap the jump button as fast as you can, you'll be able to jump before it swings back, and you'll always make it. And you won't have to swing again. After retrieving Ashley, you can make your way back into the church, and I would advise using a flashbang immediately, because there's a couple of archers in there, and if you kill them, you get some pretty decent stuff, so it's kind of worth it. Next, you'll make your way back to the farmhouses and do a little piggyback ride. And then after the piggyback ride is another really difficult spot, the cabin sort of area. This is where there's just tons of guys flooding in all the time. A trick here is to, hopefully you've saved your shotgun ammo. Don't use it too much on that giant before, because you want to make sure you use your grenades then, shotgun now. So the shotgun is going to be super nice for this cabin area because you can run up the stairs immediately. In this first phase, they all spawn in the bottom, on the bottom of the cabin, the first floor, and they'll go through the windows and come up to the stairs to meet you. Luckily, they all funnel up the stairs, and you can just shotgun them all until they die. Once the second phase starts, it's pretty much just shove all the ladders down and then shotgun everything that makes its way in. Or just kill it however you can. At this point, after defeating the cabin, you'll probably have run out of a bunch of ammo, so you'll have enough space to buy the free Punisher from getting all the medallions. After buying this Punisher, I usually just sell it right back and then buy the red 9 at this point. But it's up to you guys. You could even just sell that and stick with the TMP if you really want to. This next area, you'll decide if you want to go left or right. If you want to get the treasure, you'll pick both. You'll do one first, then the other. If you want to do the left first, I would advise to do that because that's where you can get more ammo. After entering this area, you'll kill a couple of guys, dump Ashley into a trash can, and then you'll just kill everybody, but avoid blowing up this little cart of barrels, because you can use that for just a little bit later when you have to fight 2 chainsaw ladies. Once you've collected everything, you'll jump down into the middle where the chainsaw ladies will pop up behind you, and what I do is I normally just run straight, go up the ladder, and take a left. Hopefully the guy doesn't hurt you when he's up there, but you can run past everybody, turn around, and that's where I whip out my rifle and just start blasting. Bunch of headshots. I try to get them grouped up as much as possible so I can do multiple kills with my rifle, knock them all down, and then try to run past the 2 chainsaw girls once they're the last one standing. Go all the way to this back corner where the cart of barrels is, jump down, turn around, wait for them to fall down behind you, and then shoot the barrel. This should deal enough damage to kill them, but if not, you might have to shoot them a couple of times to finish them off. After that, collect your prizes, jump back down into the pit, and head through that door. Immediately turn to your right where there's this little shack. Go into that shack and collect a couple of things in there, then immediately turn to your left where you'll see a wooden window. Jump through there and run all the way down, break those barrels, and you'll find the second gemstone for the mask. After that, you can continue and kill a few other guys, or you can immediately just head back to where the cabin was and switch to the right side. This is where you'll have to fight a giant. It's a little tricky because it's a lot more confined. It's a little harder to move around. And you also have Ashley. So what I do is as soon as I get in there, I shoot the chains from a distance on this door. Then I run up, wait for the cutscene, and then I keep running. Don't worry about Ashley, she's gonna point at stuff. Just keep running, run through that door, turn around, and shoot the boulder. This should be the perfect time if you're continuously running and make it through that door. That should be the perfect time to turn around, shoot it, and it will fall right on the giant. Another thing you can do is shoot it early. It'll land, the giant will still have to break it and walk through. So you'll be able to have just enough time to leave Ashley on the other side of that doorway. Then from there, you can run past the giants all the way to the other door where you came in, turn around, and just snipe him till he dies. This is probably the easiest way to do it. Just unload all of your ammo into him here and try to kill him before he reaches you. Every time he falls down, just shoot the little tentacle that pops up, because it's going to take too much time to run there and run back anyways. So just shoot it and he'll die fairly quickly there. After the giant dies, you'll make it to the next little segment of that little giant area, and towards the back of that area, that little segment, you can turn around and you'll see in a bucket there will be a little shiny to shoot. That is your last gem for the mask. Collect everything in this next area. You can sell whatever you want to the merchant, do whatever you want there, but eventually you'll make your way to the gondola. After the gondola, you'll collect some stuff on that first level, then make your way down. Leave Ashley back a little bit because you'll enter this cave and immediately start backing up because they'll throw a dynamite at you, and if you don't back up, you'll explode. Just shoot the little dynamite in the guy's hand and he'll die too. You make your way up, kill a guy, go to the chest, and you'll find the last cat's eye for the beer stein. So the next area is the boss fight. This is the final boss for the village. So a little trick here. Hopefully you've saved your incendiary grenades because those do tons of damage to this boss. If you have about 5 of them, you should be able to kill the boss completely with just the 5 incendiaries. All you do, you just stand back into a corner, have him come towards you, you throw the incendiaries down. Once he's back up, you throw it again, and you throw it again, and every time he gets close to you, you just keep throwing them until he dies. You can also use the barrel to the right if you really wanted to add some extra damage so you could hang on to one of your incendiaries. Another trick though, if you have ran out of incendiaries but have tons of ammo available, you can, at the start, immediately turn around, go up the ladder, take a left, and sit behind this little elevator shaft thing. If you stand right in the right spot, it's just to the left or to the right. It's just to the side of the wooden planks. If you stand right there, he won't be able to swing and hit you from the right or the left, and you'll be able to shoot him with whatever gun you want because his head will just kind of float right in this little perfect triangle. Once you kill him and take the eyeball, you go to the final door to make your way to the castle. And at this castle door, Leon's hair catches on fire, but it's okay because it's just an illusion. And then you make it through the door and you have to shoot a truck. First, you kill 3 enemies up on top of the hill. I would advise to just snipe them because that's just going to be easier. Then you can collect some ammo to the right and shoot the truck with the TMP. After you shot the truck and it catches on fire, immediately turn around and face the door that you came through. Because if you face away from it after the door crashed, or after the car crashes, the truck crashes, the enemies will come through the door right behind you. So the longer you face the door and have visibility of the door, the longer the enemies will take to spawn in, because they just spawn in as soon as you turn around. So you can just turn around, shoot a couple of barrels after you get to the top of the hill, take that stuff, and you can just leave. Or you can kill them and do whatever you want with them that way too. Which brings us to the end. That's pretty much it. So if you want to see more, I'll have another video out. I should have another video out for the castle before the new game comes out, the remake comes out. So stay tuned for that. And I will also have one for the island, which is the 3rd area. So just stay tuned, and I'll have a little bit more tips and tricks. This one is a slightly longer one, but the other 2 should be shorter and shorter because the tips mostly translate to the other areas. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you want to see more content like this, I do reviews on a bunch of little games, pretty much just tons of different games. So come check them out, and I will also have different tips and tricks videos for other games to come, including the new Resident Evil 4 remake. Just stay tuned for that, and I'll have more information and tricks and guides for those. So if you like videos like this, hit that little subscribe button, hit that little bell, and if you leave a like, that would be awesome. Also, comment. Tell me if I missed anything. Do you guys have any tricks or tips or anything that you could leave me that I might have left out? Let me know, and that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys. Peace.